driver, let me see your hands. Put your hands up. Don't move.
Bad guys in real life, they could slam on the brakes, they could accelerate, they could pull off one way or the other.
It's important to hold the criminal accountable.
I've seen the differences that different presidents can have on the border. That affected me personally.
It's bad business for us when we let people go.
All right, quarter turn and gas. Boom. Nice. Keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, good job. We got one down, right?
You gotta have fun.
That was wild. What a wild experience. We are about to get behind the wheel in one of these Border Patrol vehicles where we're going to be conducting and part of pit maneuver. So this was a policy that essentially went away under the Biden administration. Now it's back. They're going to be using this movement in their pursuits and in their issues when it comes to human smuggling and drug smuggling as well. So what can I expect to see or experience here?
All right, so main thing we talk to the students is just get comfortable, right? There's gonna be some initial contact. Right? You can see the cars, they're built for contact, but light contact, not intentional, not hard contact. We want the kids to get comfortable because if they do get hard contact, the airbags might engage, right? We might end up off to the side of the road, sideways, right?
Okay.
So just keep that in mind, keep the students comfortable. We talk about the 5 steps to the pit, right? The number 1 step to the pit is matching the speed. You got to match the speed of the bad guy. You match the speed, then you make that smooth initial contact. Once you match the speed, smooth initial contact, then you do the quarter turn, right? Which starts breaking the traction of the bad guy vehicle. And then once you make that smooth initial contact, you accelerate because now you're pushing another vehicle. If you don't accelerate, you're going to slow down and you're going to slide off and you're going to miss that pit. Once you accelerate, then you brake because you're going to accelerate. The vehicle's going to end up like this, kind of like a sideways. And then once you brake, he's going to slide off. The brake is what we call the release. Once you pump the brake, the bad guy vehicle is going to slide off one way or the other depending on what side of pit you do. If you do driver's side pit or passenger side pit, that determines what side that vehicle is going to go on. So the main thing we do is we just talk to the students. We let them know, look at the vehicles, get comfortable. There's going to be some bumping and grinding. There's going to be some minor contact. And we tell them this is adult bumper cars with rules, right? Everybody loved the bumper cars when we were younger. Now as an adult, guess what? You get to do adult bumper cars with some rules that we got to follow so nobody gets hurt. The instructors don't end up at the chiropractor this weekend or in the emergency room, right? So we just handle those rules, get them comfortable so that they're nice and comfortable in there. And then the instructors out here are the best of the best. That's why they're here. We'll get them in the car and gradually build them up to where they can do the pit. And that's what you're going to experience today. We're going to get you in there, gradually build you up on how we do the trainees. And then we'll get you to do a pit and we'll see how it goes from there. All right, so we teach the students get close, top of the hood, bottom letters of the license plate. That's where we want to be. And we're here. All right, so we stay tight. We stay tight. Get comfortable, right? And we build the students up to this point so they get comfortable driving close to each other.
Now, how long do you do that training?
Right,
I mean, do they do?
Gradually, back right here.
Whoa!
Did you feel any jerking on us?
No, but whoa!
So it's nice and smooth, right? Like I was telling you, people think that they see
It happens really fast though.
and everybody's jerking. If you do it right, you follow the 5 steps, it's nice and smooth.
So how many days, will a student be in a vehicle just matching the speed, doing the license, doing that? Or is it like day 1 you're pitting?
No, day 1, they start with the Rubik's Cube and the Serpentine. And all that is they're just driving nice and tight with each other, right? And we'll go throughout the course. It's 6 vehicles.
Oh, wow.
They're getting used to. We build them up. This is actually day 2.
Okay.
So day 1 is just Rubik's Cube. We'll have 6 vehicles and they're driving throughout the course in a formation of 6. And a formation of 6. And they'll get used to driving close. Then we'll do the Serpentine, which will line up all the 6 vehicles. We'll leave 1 to 1.5 vehicle spacing between each. And then they'll just come in, they'll match the speed, weave across, go to the next vehicle, match the speed, which is what they're doing here. And then here's where we start adding the other steps, the steps 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
And here we go. Now we'll do the driver's side. So same thing, he takes off. top of the hood, bottom letters of the license plate. 2 slides over, we come over, match the speed. See how everything slows down once you match the speed? Gradually come in for that smooth initial contact. Yes. And nice and smooth, nobody's jerking.
This is the spot where you need to be at. On the other side, the gas cap is right here. So what the student is aiming at, we tell him to aim at the gas cap. We don't want to go any further up than that because this is the area that we're aiming at. Any further up, you're going to be hitting the tire. In real life, this bar's not here, so you're going to be hitting the tire.
That creates a whole different problem.
That creates a whole different problem. Tires will pop, maybe vehicle climb up your vehicle, more problems. If you give it here, this is the cushion, bumper to bumper, rear end, rear fender, right? So this is the sweet spot that we always want to hit. So on that side, you'll see it's the gas cap. Here we tell the students, find yourself an imaginary line. I'm going to have you get in the car now like we do the students. Find yourself an imaginary line of where you see there. Take a mental picture of what you see in relation with the hood of this vehicle right here, right here. Find a mental picture, and that's where you want to aim at every time. And that's what we tell the students, and then we let the students get in the vehicle, which I'm going to do right now. Get right on his bumper. We want to start off right on his bumper.
Okay, are we hitting reds and blues?
Here we go. So right here, as soon as I hit the red and blues, boom. All right, get on him and stay on him. He's going to gradually pick up the speed. Stay on him, stay on him, stay on him, stay on him. Closer, top of the hood, bottom letters of the license plate. Get up there, get up there, get up there. Closer, 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 closer. Now he's going to gradually slide over. Come over, do your work. Get up there, gradually, gradually. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Come into him. All right, quarter turn and gas. Boom. Nice. Keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, good job. We got one down, right? All right, now we go over there, do turn 5.
Oh my gosh.
Not bad, huh?
The vehicle.
Not bad. Keep going, keep going, keep
Holy
going.
mackerel. Wait, what? I was like I was a boss. I didn't even think about that.
And how was it? How was it?
Fantastic.
It's not
so
as
am I
bad.
turning around
Yep.
here?
Now we'll turn around right about here
It wasn't scary. It wasn't.
and pull off here to the shoulder. Wait for our bad
It was
guy
like
to
I
get
knew
there.
exactly what I was supposed to be doing because you showed me.
All
But
right.
this side is a little dicier.
Yes.
Okay.
And the main thing is the five steps to a pit, right? Number 1 is match the speed. Once you match the speed, you see everything slows down in slow motion. And then you can come in for that smooth initial contact. Once you make that smooth initial contact, it's quarter turn and boom, gas. Once you see that the car's here, you pump the brake, and you saw how he went off to the side, and we're done, and we're off to the races.
Okay.
All right, let's do it again.
Okay. Let's go. Driver's side, right?
Yep, driver's side. And you'll see he'll peel off to the right, and you'll see that gas cap. Get on him, stay close, stay close, stay close, closer, closer, closer. Now get off on the side and start working your magic. Get up there, gas cap, gas cap. Right now, gradually, gas, 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 gas. Missed that one.
Gotta go again, gotta go again. I didn't, you know I did? I pushed brakes, not gas.
Yep.
Because I had my guy, so my brain goes stop. So I have to push the gas. So we'll do a driver's side, one on this side or no?
You want to do driver's side or you want to do another passenger side?
Well, I gotta do the one I messed up.
All right, let's turn around. Either I'll go turn it around, let's go to turn 5, and let's do that driver's side one more time.
So we're gonna go turn around 5 again? Okay.
Soccer mom there fucking walking out.
Yeah. Well, so that was what my did you see what I was saying? My brain, because I hit him, said stop. So I stopped instead of gas, because my brain does not say push the gas when you hit something, right? And that's like the
And that's the training that we're giving the students, right? Because the norm is you don't want to rear end a car, you don't want to drive that close to a car, right? So that's why we give them the training, because the normal driving, you know, the principles, you're like, oh, I'm too close to this car, I'm gonna rear end this car, I'm tapping this car.
And that was the other thing that I had an issue with the 4x4 was that we had to use the brake throttle configuration thing, modulation, and I was not used to that. Okay.
All right, so here we go, remember.
Do it this time.
All right, and here we go, stay tight, that's the most important part. Stay close, stay close, stay close.
I'm just scared he's gonna slam on the brakes.
No,
he wouldn't do
don't
that
worry,
to me,
don't worry about it.
And like he wouldn't do that to me.
He wouldn't do it, and these vehicles are made for that. Right? So stay tight, stay tight, stay tight. Come over, work your magic. Smooth, gradually get up there. Gas cap, get closer, closer. Come over, closer, closer, closer. Gas, 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 brake, brake. Boom. Now come over to the side and we're done. Good job.
Yes! We're doing pit maneuvers right now. Oftentimes you'll see these play out when there's an FTY or a failure to yield. So Border Patrol will have some indication that the person driving that vehicle is smuggling humans, maybe smuggling drugs, or has some other criminal history that they're aware of. So when you're in one of these settings, they're trying to get this driver to stop, whether they have something nefarious or illicit in the vehicle, or they have criminal history that Border Patrol's aware of. Okay, hey, that was wild. That was crazy town. Okay.
All right, pit and pin.
Okay.
So now we'll do the pit and pin, which is the same thing. So we'll do 2 pit and pins.
Okay, what's the difference between a pit and a pit and pin?
The pit and pin, now you saw how we pitted the vehicle and it just went off to the side.
Yes.
Now you have 2 agents, right? And they're going to do the pit and pin. Now,
oh,
you know
so
how
you guys are doing tandem enforcement.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know how you said, well, how does the bad guy vehicle stop? Can he?
Okay, you ready now for the pit and pin? Yeah, boy.
All right, stand by a little bit. I'm explaining back here, so I'll let you guys know here in a little bit, and we'll be ready to rock and roll for pit and pin. All right, so you know how you said, what happens to that vehicle? Can he just take off? Can he? Right? Because you saw it just slides out. Can he put it in drive and take off? Well, now we're gonna pin him, right? So he's gonna spin out, right? He's gonna spin off to the side, whichever side he goes. He turns around because he's doing the pit, so he does his teardrop turn, comes around. Then we're gonna come in, we're gonna be the first ones there. And let's say this is the bad guy vehicle. He ended up like this. We're gonna come in and pin him in this way. So if he tries to go forwards and backwards, he can't go anywhere. And then from there, we give the commands, we draw our weapons, get him out of the vehicle and do what we need to do, but we pinned him in so he doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
And this one takes a little bit of precision because there's 2 of us. So we got to give commands. So he's going to give the commands. He's going to get on the radio. He's going to let everybody know, all units prepare for a pit and pin on my command of execute, because we're working in a team. We need to know. So he's going to say that. So now we're getting ready. As soon as he says execute, that's going to happen. We slow down to give him room to work in case bad guy slams on his brakes and they collide. We're not part of that collision.
You saying the last thing didn't require precision, sir?
It did, but this one a little bit more because there's 2 of us working at the same time.
Okay.
All righty, Dungo. And team, whenever you guys are ready, pit and pin, passenger side. So here we go. He'll give his commands.
All units prepare for a pit and pin on my command of execute.
So we give him room to work. We give him room
So
to
at
work.
this point, either you guys are together on the stop, or you've now come in as supplement, right?
Yep. He asks for backup, and we're trying to pull him over. We give him room to work. Boom, he does his thing. At this point, I start getting ready for the stop, right? Take my seatbelt off, right? Come in close, right? Open my door. Driver, let me see your hands. Put your hands up. Put your hands up, driver. Don't move. And we'll give him time to get his photo shoot.
Wow. That's it. So yeah, so you've got
Guys, go ahead
him
and bring it back
quite
in.
literally boxed in. He can't go anywhere.
Nope. So we pinned him in. As you can see, we pinned him in. So if he was to put it in drive and try and go, he ain't going
He
anywhere.
can't go anywhere. So at that point, if he won't get out of the vehicle, you guys will use force or whatever you have to.
Yes, the situation will dictate.
Now we're getting in the bad guy's vehicle. We are going to be in the vehicle that is getting pitted and pinned. So what they're going to do is they're going to conduct that maneuver where they're going to come in from the side. They're going to kind of quick turn towards our vehicle, make that vehicle kind of spin out, pit out, and then they're going to kind of trap us so that we're not able to escape, and they're able to make that arrest.
and then.
That's what I would
Equate it to, yeah.
I would equate it to you're jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. Like, let's get in a car accident really quick, shall we? That was wild. What a wild experience. So they just pitted us, which the car obviously turns in a nearly 360-degree angle so that Border Patrol and law enforcement can get kind of the upper hand in a pursuit or a failure to yield. And that policy went away under the Biden administration, and now it's back. Woo-wee! Right now we are on the 4x4 course. It's one of the only academies that has such an extensive 4x4 course, and we're gonna go do some day one stuff. He's been talking about this brake throttle modulation. We're gonna learn how to do that. I'm making it my mission.
Right into him.
I don't take it from the side?
No, go straight right into him.
Really? What happens if I go straight right into him?
You'll be fine.
Why?
Like that is perfect.
I feel like
so
you're...
get both tires on both sides. There we go.
Oh, I feel like you're setting
slow
me up
down,
for a
slow
loss.
down. There we go. First barrier. Now go ahead and hit the brake all the way down.
Okay, brake all the way down.
Brake all the way down.
Now, do I hit it with my left foot?
No, feet are the same.
Okay.
So left foot on the brake.
Yes.
All the way down.
But left foot on the brake, right? And then I'm
Use
doing,
both
doing the gas
Correct.
with this.
So try and maintain the gas around 1500 or so. Just like that. You hear that sound? That's the sound you want to kind of keep going, constant. Now slowly release the brake. Keep going.
Okay, it's not doing nothing. Oh!
It doesn't until it does. Oh, easy. So you got to try and control that.
Okay.
And do the same thing. So now you kind of know where it's at. You kind of know the release point. Just like that. Keep the accelerator the same. And you're controlling your actual movements now using the brake. Just like
Get
that was
out
good.
of here!
That was good.
Wait a second. That's nutso. Okay, sorry guys. You're coming along with the for the ride.
It's
for
day
real.
one. It's expected. Just like that. Try and keep
Whoa,
maintain.
okay.
Yes, yeah. We gotta get off this obstacle at some point, right?
Yeah.
Without damaging the vehicle or hurting ourselves. That was very good. See how smooth that is? That's quite smooth. Just like that.
Look at how good we did on that one. Hey!
First try. First try.
Wowzers. Okay.
So
you
back
guys,
to normal driving. Foot off the brake. Day one.
Day one. We can do it.
Over here.
We can do some border patrolling.
So now this is all manual control, right? It's not the car receiving a signal that the brake is all the way and then the gas no.
No.
Now where am I going?
Let's go to these big ones.
The round
I think
ones?
you're ready for the big ones.
The round ones?
Yep, make a little left here, come around, and same thing. These are the biggest of
And
the
now
day
do
ones.
I go at them from a side?
I
a
would.
little bit?
I would.
Yeah, we don't want to go. We don't want to go full.
Correct.
Full tilt.
Yes.
Okay.
So same thing. Get to the first obstacle. Make sure you get that.
And we gotta engage, right?
Right about there. There it is.
Okay.
Brake all the way down.
Brake all the way down.
Increase those RPMs up.
So I'm only at 2. That's a 1500, right?
Yep, you're perfect. I do it more by sound now. So go ahead and release it. Find that point. Nice and smooth. You see how smooth that was?
Yeah. Woo!
Ooh, careful.
Okay.
There we go. Creepy crawly. That's it.
Whoa! Sorry guys, that one was a creepy crawly.
Ooh.
Oh,
Poop.
shoot. Poop. Okay. How come it's hitting so hard?
Because you're letting the throttle off. You're kind of missing your balance there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Why was I hitting it so hard there?
Because you're taking the foot off the gas, so it's making it brake more and then making it jump forward.
Oh!
Yeah, so you have to maintain
okay.
the accelerator and then use a brake to control.
Okay. That's what I was doing. I was definitely letting my foot off the accelerator. Okay. Any other ones I need to try?
I think that's it.
Okay. We did okay.
I think
Those
so.
ones were much harder.
Yes.
And we cursed.
Yes.
Megan, bleep that out. They're going to be like, oh my God, Allie, always. This was fantastic. Thank you so much for showing us that.
Driving for them starts around the 50th day. So these guys definitely have classes every day. And they're not just, there's daytime and then there's some nighttime driving too.
So they're not driving until for 50 days in to the 6-month academy?
Actual driving. They get introduced to some other stuff regarding vehicles, but not until, I want to say 50 some days into it. That's when they start actually going through some of the stuff you just experienced.
And we just experienced some off-roading ATV.
So you started with the
4x4
offensive driving techniques.
Offensive driving. Okay, so that's the pit maneuvers,
Correct.
right? So let's go into that. Let's get into the pit maneuvers, because that was something that was kind of considered controversial under the previous administration. You guys essentially lacked the authority to conduct those maneuvers. It was kind of like, hey, stop doing pit maneuvers. We don't want to see that happening. Now you guys are able to do it again. Why is it important to be able to pit maneuver in these FTYs, in these scenarios you guys are seeing on a daily basis?
So I think it's important simply to hold the criminal accountable. I mean, anytime somebody breaks the law and you're allowed, obviously, to pull over a vehicle based on whether it's reasonable suspicion or if you have the probable cause to pull it over, and if that vehicle doesn't stop, imagine just letting it go. Now, in some cases, it might be the most practical thing to do, but in other cases, it's not. I think it was May 2023 when our pursuit policy changed, and we pretty much restricted us from pursuing vehicles or getting into what they call anytime any vehicle didn't stop and we had to get into a pursuit, they're all terminated. Now, January 2025, administration change led to the commissioner's office sent out a memo pretty much reinstating the old policy, updating it, and here recently we ramped it up. We have another challenge here at the Academy. I think we have, I want to say a little bit over 2,000 agents in the field, if I correctly, probably 2,300, that we have to bring up to speed with this training. So not only are we training every new class that's here, we also have to go backwards and start training those that never got trained.
So how do you do that? Do you bring instructors to them? Do you bring them to the Academy? How do you kind of make up for lost time there?
It's all about planning. You know, as long as you have the authority and you got the money, and you plan and you execute that plan, and then we make it happen here at the Academy.
So you said you ramped up the pursuit policy, if you will, enacting it here. What does that mean when you say you ramped up those procedures?
Well, once, let's say the commissioner's office put out that memo of Border Patrol, once our chief said we're implementing this policy, we went back to the old one. We immediately, I want to say it was February of 2025 when we started implementing ODT training all over again, offensive driving techniques.
Now, what was the sentiment from agents, from students that are going through the Academy when they learned they're going to be pitting again, they're going to be doing these offensive driving techniques, and pursuits are back on the table? What's the kind of reaction from agents?
So there was a lot of excitement from agents, and then I'm not sure about the trainee, for example, that came in. I don't think they know better, but I know the agents in the field for sure were excited that we're bringing it back and now it was authorized.
And I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but they're excited because they're not letting people go.
Exactly. Again, it's all about holding criminals accountable and not letting them go. You know, it's just bad business for us when we let people go.
So when you're out here on these courses and you're watching the trainees go through these scenarios, what's going through your mind? Are you proud? Are you concerned? Are you excited? Like, what do you think of when you see these people doing well or doing it not so well and they need more training? What do you feel like in your position here at the Academy?
My position, I think, so I'm extremely proud of the type of instructors we have here. I think we have highly trained instructors that do an excellent job. One, I take it personal. I believe when it comes to training the new agent, it's our responsibility to bring them the highest level of training and send them to the field as prepared as possible. I mean, we want them to hit the ground running because those agents will be our backup when we go back to the field and leave this place. People are always rotating the Academy, so.
So what's the danger? What's the concern if an agent doesn't get the highest level of training, doesn't meet that standard, but they pass anyways? What is the risk to America if an agent's out there not knowing what they're doing?
I think if there's ever a lack of training, it's all contributing towards the lack of either safety of the American people and us, like your backup, your own people that you're backing up. So it's not ideal for anybody not to get highly trained, in my opinion. Not in this type of job. There's very little room for error, if you know what I'm saying. We get put in different scenarios where you have less than a second to make a decision, and unfortunately, you know, we can't get it wrong. So training is extremely important, and everything starts here. So if we train them right and we do the best we can do with them here, then they continue their training on the job with experience, and eventually should be molded into an experienced agent. That leads to less, I don't want to say mistakes, but just less issues overall when it comes to the way you operate.
Because when you're going out there every day, you assume and you know that they went through the academy, that they got that proper and adequate training, and they're going to be able to have your back, and they're going to have the mission of honor first, and they're going to be doing what you know, and that comes from you putting your faith behind the academy and behind Border Patrol.
So everything's repetition, right? You train here and you do something a lot of times. When you get out to the field, then it's experience. You're doing things in real time. It's you're on the job now, and you're not doing the same thing over and over anymore. So whenever you experience anything you might have seen at training, you're automatically going to go back to muscle memory, which whatever you know how to do is what you're going to do, and however you react is based on what you know.
And you want people to know what they know from this spot, because it's good knowledge.
If I'm the citizen, you know, I'm an American citizen, I want my agents to always react accordingly. And if I'm an agent working with another agent, I want my partner to react accordingly and watch my back.
Now, obviously, you guys are in the hiring phase right now. You guys need some more agents. A reconciliation bill calls for an additional 3,000 on top of the ones you guys already need to just kind of retain, whatever that might be, that are already in place. Do you think you'll get those numbers? Do you think that you guys will be successful, that you'll be able to staff that you have enough people that want to do this job?
I think we have to look at everything. I am confident that we can get there with the amount of applicants that we have now. Now, it's going to take time, though, in my opinion. If we continue growing the way we're growing, we will get there. It's a matter of time. Now, I know the Border Patrol, along with CBP as a whole, OTD, we're always looking at the process and looking to improve the process so it can be more efficient and we can get more trainees to get through the academy, graduate them, and send them to the field. So I would be guessing if I tell you how long it would take.
What are you most proud of when it comes to Border Patrol, when it comes to the academy, the training of these guys, these men and women that are on the front lines of our nation's security? What are you most proud of?
I'm proud. One, I want to say our mission. Just think about this. We are the agents that I don't think a lot of people know what we do. We are trained to, one, detect anything that crosses the U.S., just the border in general, and let's talk about the southwest border, the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, not only have to detect, and that can be through technology or us detecting some sort of foot sign, but once you detect something, sometimes you know what it is and sometimes you don't. But people have no idea that sometimes that leads to, it could be just alien traffic, or next thing you know, it's aliens with drugs, or a terrorist. You just don't know, and that's I want to say the most difficult part of our job. Like anytime we detect something and we try to resolve anything, it's always the unknown that keeps you on your toes. And what I'm proud of is I think we do a lot of work that no one knows about, and yet we don't care. We don't do it for the kudos. We do it because we love keeping this country safe.
Why did you join the patrol in the first place? Why are you here?
Sure, great question, ma'am. Previous military, I had the opportunity to talk to some individuals who were already in the Border Patrol, specifically within SOG. And honestly, everything they told me, it sounded like a wonderful organization. Coming from a border town in El Paso, obviously there's a piece of me that wants to kind of protect the border. I've seen the differences that different presidents can have on the border. And so that affected me personally. Again, from El Paso, I'm a little closer to home. I can bring my skills from the military straight from there to here, and they're applicable. And lastly, just having only been in for 4.5 months, it's really I've come to see how fortuitous of an opportunity being in Border Patrol is. There's something for everybody. It's a supportive organization. Again, there's something for everybody. It seems like a wonderful organization. I'm lucky to be here.
What branch of the military were you with?
I was in the Army for 11 years, ma'am.
Thank you for your service. I appreciate
You're
it.
very welcome.
When it comes to these different opportunities that are here within Border Patrol, you mentioned SOG. Is there a special operation that you would like to be part of? What's the goal? Once you're out in July and you get to hit the ground running, obviously you're going to have to do some time somewhere else first.
Yes, ma'am.
But what do you have your eyes set on here for the goal at Border Patrol?
Sure. Understanding, of course, that I'm a trainee coming in brand new, my experience doesn't mean much. My ultimate goal here in the Border Patrol is to make my way over to BORTAC. I'd like to say I know much about them. The fact is I don't, but I know it's similar to what I did in the military, and that's my goal. My eyes on the prize, and I'm excited for the opportunity to even give it a shot.
So I got to go through a little bit of your training, an iota, a fraction
Yes, ma'am.
of what you guys do, from the pit maneuvers to the 4x4 to the new red dot sights that you're able to use.
Yes, ma'am.
What has been the most impactful thing that you've learned here at the Academy over the last 4 months?
So honestly, I've been incredibly impressed with the training up to this point. Specifically speaking, I'd say it's the scenario, the real live scenario where we have real role players providing feedback, both in English and Spanish. Whether it's in a tactical setting or a driving setting, I think that live reactionary instance provides a lot of feedback for younger kids who have less experience. And even with my experience, I find it to be extremely helpful. So honestly, I have nothing to say bad about the Academy. I think it's run wonderfully, and I'm having a wonderful time here.
2 more months. What do you hope to learn? What haven't you learned that you will be in the coming weeks?
Sure, we actually get tased next week. I can't say I'm excited about it.
You get tased, you said.
Yeah, but it's certainly a hurdle that you get over, and it's something that you can say, hey, I've done it and I've knocked it out. Honestly, I like and I love watching my group of guys with me grow, from who they were at the very beginning to who they are now. So just every day, everyone gains a little bit more confidence, and it's fun to grow as a team, man.
11 years. You were a Green Beret. Okay,
yes,
talk
ma'am.
to me a little bit about your experience.
As a Green Beret, ma'am?
Yes.
I mean, nothing bad to say about it. It's just time for a transition, and I think Border Patrol gives me more of an opportunity to focus on family, at least have my family more centered around my in-laws and my family. So again, as I mentioned earlier, being special operations and coming over to Border Patrol, and my ultimate goal being BORTAC, I think it'll be a good fit. And
what was the transition like? Was it pretty seamless going from military to a paramilitary academy and setting?
I'd say so, ma'am. I think military is always going to be a little more difficult as far as the discipline. But certainly all the experiences and the knowledge I had coming from the military here were applicable, not just to myself, but again, for my classmates. But again, the entire process has been seamless. Nothing but support from everyone.
Do you know what station you're going to be going to yet?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be going to El Paso Sector, Santa Teresa Station.
So you're going to be going home.
Yes.
That's kind of rare. I know that
Yeah.
that's prioritized oftentimes within the agency. They want you guys to be able to get home. What does it mean for you? I mean, you spent 11 years in the Army. Obviously, you weren't home.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're in Border Patrol. There was a chance that you wouldn't get close to home. And now you get to go home. What does that mean to you?
Yes, ma'am. When I applied, honestly, I was willing to kind of accept any station that was offered to me. So again, I'm extremely blessed. My family's extremely blessed to be going home, and that means I can be busy, and I know my wife will have the support of her family in El Paso. So it's just a wonderful experience so far here in the Border Patrol.
Congratulations.
I appreciate you, ma'am.
That's awesome.
It's the first time that they're actually training canines to detect fentanyl.
Oh, she found it?
You gotta be able to read your dog. So it's a real demanding actual task. In order for us to do our job here and train these dogs, we're affecting the nation as far as a whole. We are high standard academy.
That's our next layer of defense for the American people, to stop these things and people from reaching our community.
Wow, we did it, guys. We found some drugs.
We love these dogs and we do everything we have to keep them in optimal health.
Can I have them?
Well, I wish you could, but
Can we take them home? Hey, I'm Allie Bradley with NewsNation, and we are getting ready to get an inside look at the Border Patrol's Canine Academy. It's the first time that they're actually training canines to interdict and detect fentanyl. We're going to get this look and we're bringing it right to you.
Available for both human and canine. We have a spill kit, we have gloves, we have anything that we need in case of an emergency. If one of our canines goes down, if one of our handlers goes down, we take safety by far all the way to, yes, number one on anybody.
If you're not here,
yes.
then,
So
then the program can't continue.
Well,
so you got to
not
make
only
sure
that,
that you guys are good.
But we got to make sure that everybody's in a safe training environment. So we have our kit ready, we have our training aids out. So the best thing to do is to bring out a dog, that way you can see it firsthand.
Okay, let's do it. So we're with Canine Nina right now, and they've been doing some simulations showing how she finds fentanyl and actually detects it when it is in a vehicle or it is being hidden. So they're actually going to let me take a little pass with Nina and see if I can be a good enough handler to guide her and if she will find the fentanyl. We'll see.
Go ahead and grab the dog first. So this would be you becoming the actual handler.
Okay.
We're going to go on the first pass. So we're just going to walk around the vehicle. She's going to be doing her thing. So the most important thing is actually keeping the leash short. So leash hand is left hand.
What do you mean?
Yes.
You want me to hold this like this?
So yeah, so you can hold the loop. Okay. And don't let go of the dog.
Okay.
Okay.
Deal. You have my word.
No,
I'll go down with the ship.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And now do I hold secondary?
No,
or
so
just,
no, you're fine with this. So what you're gonna do is instill the actual search command, which is what?
Whiskey.
Gift.
Gift.
Yes. So
Okay. What's whiskey?
Where's gift?
Where's gift? Okay.
So when you get rid of the gift command, you're just gonna walk her and you're gonna go around this vehicle and you're gonna go to the actual Suburban that's over there. Okay.
Okay.
That's gonna be in the gas cap.
Okay.
So don't freak out.
Walk around and we're gonna go to the gas cap.
So
okay.
stay controlled, stay patient, stay,
Nina.
and then give her a presentation and give her the command.
Whoop. Okay. Whiskey.
Gift.
Gift. Gift. Where's gift? Whoop. Come on, this way. She is stronger than I am.
So give me a presentation right here on this gas cap right here. Alright. Right.
Here.
Gift.
Gift.
Let her do her thing.
Oh, she found it? Woo!
High happies are Warner. Get it.
Good job, Mama! Woo! Yeah! Good girl! Good job, Mamas! You did it! Woo! Yeah! We got it, girl.
Good job. What we're gonna do is actually have a demonstration with one of the canines. One of our supervisors will bring out a dog, go through the systematic pattern. We'll go around the vehicles, eventually make it to the vehicle that actually has the training aid, and you'll see the dog's reaction on alert and indication. That way you understand what the bigger picture is on the whole training.
So we are right now with Border Patrol as they're conducting some of their training to actually detect fentanyl. What they're doing is they're running the dogs through these different kind of scenarios where these vehicles are so they can actually find out if in fact they might be hiding or concealing any fentanyl or any other narcotics in these vehicles.
so crazy. He just.
Right now we have a scenario playing out behind us, a training kind of simulation. Walk us through what we're seeing, what's going on here.
So that's pretty much our foundation to actually teach a student handler how to be able to run a dog on leash. So we get a one-on-one training. They do a variety of drills that we have, mirror drills, leash hand drills, and it's to pretty much give them a picture of what's going to happen once we attach a dog to the end of that leash. So a lot of the times you can't just throw somebody and be like, you're a handler. You have to practice and actually get these techniques down. So in order for us to grade you properly and be able to put you on the field, you have to understand how the dog's capable of doing their job. So a lot of the times you're walking backwards at the same time reading the dog's alert. So it's not something that anybody can do. We've had people come through the course and actually not be able to pan out for us or themselves. So we have to be able to give them the one-on-one training to understand that in order for us to attach a dog that you just saw, and for you to be able to understand what the dog is doing, you have to do this. So it's a lot of practicing prior to being a handler. Not anybody can just walk up and be like, I want to be a handler. It's an actual thing that you have to love in order to be able to do it, because it is demanding. It's really demanding. This is a controlled environment, so everything that we have here is controlled by us. Whether it be the training aid odors, the environment as far as vehicles, but once they hit the field, that's out of control. So they have to be able to get really good at this before they get to the field. And that's one of the things that they understand is we can't pass you through this course and just be able to walk around. You need to understand what you're doing, because you're going to go up against the best of the best smugglers. You're going to go up against people that are in vehicles trying to hide from you, and you got to be able to read your dog. So it's a real demanding actual task.
Now, what are they looking for specifically when they're going around these vehicles?
So understanding what their instructor is trying to show them, maybe the actual tension on the leash, that the dog's showing them an alert, maybe just them controlling their footwork, be able to do presentations and walk backwards. A lot of the times it's just walking backwards and actually seeing a dog in front of you. People get excited, this is what they've always wanted to do. So trying to control those emotions, being patient, and that you want this dog, but sometimes you just need to understand that. Be patient, understand what we're doing, because this is a bigger picture than what you're actually seeing.
And how does a dog, like as they're walking around, how does a dog sniff out fentanyl behind steel, behind things in backpacks and whatever it might be, versus dust or versus powdered sugar? How is this dog able to detect that through this training?
So the dog's olfactory is what comes into play. So do you know how a dog's nose works? No? So a dog can actually sniff out a cheeseburger, but by sniffing the bread, the tomato, the cheese, the meat, the lettuce. They can actually divide all those odors separately. So in order for us to get here, we do pre-training. So we teach them the odors. We teach them the odors all in one in order for us to be able to split them eventually down the road. So they do an introduction as far as all the odors together, in order to understand what cocaine smells like, heroin smells like, marijuana smells like, methamphetamine, and fentanyl. In order for us to be able to separate the odors, we need to make sure that the pre-training is a process that understands that the foundation for the field is going to be the pre-training. So once we get good at that, then we start splitting each odor individually, and it comes up to the instructor and the course development instructor to understand that this dog is ready. This dog understands what cocaine smells like. This dog understands what methamphetamine smells like. In order for us to be able to deploy this dog in the field, you can't just send the dog and be like, well, it's close enough. No, we are high standard academy. We need these dogs to be able to smell these odors and be able to do it at a moment's notice. And once they get good at the odors, now we got to find concealed people. So not only are they finding what maybe fentanyl is hidden, they have to find what a person smells like behind a trunk, behind a fender, behind a dashboard. So it's one of those things that we have to make sure our training is held to a higher standard for these dogs to be able to do it.
What's the risk if it's not? What's the risk if they're
Somebody's
not
life.
100%?
Somebody's life behind the vehicle, or somebody's life in the neighborhood. It could be somebody's kids. It could be somebody's husband, wife, brother, sister, uncle. In order for us to do our job here and train these dogs to the standard that we need, we're affecting the nation as far as a whole. All this that we do is not for nothing. He might at one point find 300 pounds of fentanyl. He might at one point find 2 keys of cocaine. We don't know. The dogs that we're putting at the end of that leash are trained to do it. We need them to do their part to become a team to be able to do that in the field.
Now, what's he saying?
So he's giving them the search command, the Wurski. So we train our dogs in either German or Dutch commands, and it depends on what we're doing as far as on the actual searches. So for actual detection, it's gift. So they're actually looking for the trained odor. Help me find the trained odor. I'm giving you presentations and I'm moving. Use your nose and be able to help us as a team pretty much pinpoint where the location's at. So he's moving. You have your student instructor showing them how to move, how to be able to do presentations and be able to put it all together.
This is fascinating to see how they do this, because this is what we're going to be seeing more so in a checkpoint environment, right? Or at a port of entry. Or are we also seeing this? I've seen canines being called in an FTY or in a traffic stop situation. You bring this unit out together.
Yes.
That will kind of
You might
go
be
around the vehicle.
you might be
and
helping
see.
another agency that needs the
Okay.
help of a detection canine, and your supervisor told you yes, you can respond and use your dog to help them.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that Border Patrol checkpoints are in the interior. They have already got past a port of entry. They've already made it into the interior when they've gotten to where you guys are at this point. Off the border, obviously,
Yes.
but they have made it through another layer of enforcement in some way, shape, or form
Yes.
to make it to your checkpoint where you're bringing out this unit to
Yes.
search the vehicles.
Yes, so that's another line of defense for the actual CBP that we have. We also cover between the ports of entry, so it's not only there, maybe in the field in the desert, but yes, that's what the checkpoint is intended to do.
Okay.
So hopefully give us that security.
So this is our classroom. So this is where the student handlers and student instructors start their day.
And how long is training? How long is
So it depends on the disciplines that we're doing. So it can go anywhere from 10 to 15 weeks, even longer for patrol, because patrol takes a lot more training, a lot more obedience with the canines. So it just depends what discipline. So we're covering detection a day. So that's about 10 to 12 weeks. For
10 to 12 weeks
for
for
the student
detection.
instructors.
Okay.
For the student instructors. So the student instructors are a very important piece to the training, because they are the ones that are going to go to the field and maintain maintenance training for the student handlers.
Okay.
Student handlers, they come in, they have about 8 weeks, and that they cover is everything from curriculum to eventually bonding with the dog and then training with the dog.
Okay.
So the most important thing about this is they're just a regular agent. No experience prior to this. A lot of the ones that show up, maybe dog people, maybe they love a dog. They have no experience, so we need to train them to be able to do what we do in detection. So that's a lot of training in a short period of time.
How do they get selected? How do
So
they?
their process, it depends on their station sector, how many handlers they need for that period. They go through what we call an application process. They put a memorandum in that they want to do that collateral duty. And when they put in, they do an interview process. They go through their resume and everything and make sure that they're compatible to that actual collateral.
Now, is there a difference in their selection process if they're doing detection versus, say, they're doing tracking, like the bite dog side of things
So that's
instead?
a real
Because they're
good
different,
question.
right?
Yes, that's a real good question, because you're talking about two different agents. So the Special Operations Group covers the BORSTAR BORTAC. So that would be your search and rescue and your patrol canines.
Okay.
Detection and track and trail, that's your regular student handlers that are just regular agent. They will be covering mostly the southwest border, the northern border. They don't
So
need
they're
those
looking
specialty
for
training.
looking for drugs, and they're looking for people trying to evade. They're
So
not looking
conceal-
for necessarily a prison escapee, a
Exactly.
murderer, somebody like that, where you're calling in BORTAC, or somebody who was lost in the mountains somewhere on Cristo Rey. That's going to be BORSTAR. So this is going to be, hey, we got a hit on a camera somewhere. you need to go out and find them, and that's going to be these individuals that are tracking with their canine, and they're looking for people trying to evade.
Yes, so their primary job is to find concealed people. So yes, that is a good question. Once finding concealed people, they might run into narcotics during their whole job. But don't get it confused though, because there is times where your regular student handler that is a handler, canine handler, might have to help in a search and rescue because board store is not available. So they will have to help, maybe hike up a mountain, go look for a person that's lost because they call 911. That a detection handler can do that. That's where their training comes into play, because board store, board tag, they're busy as well. So if they can actually deploy a detection handler to actually help, they might actually help in a search and rescue. So that's not always that's your specific job, because in the job of looking for concealed people, you don't know the state that person is in. They can be hydrated or dehydrated. They could be in the middle of the desert for days, or they could be in the desert for maybe hours. So the detection aspect of it is our foundation training. Everything else, as far as specialty groups, that is for the special operations group. So it covers the majority of it.
Thank you for the insight. Appreciate that.
So we're going to cover real quick. We're going to go in here. So the one thing about the academy, we're self-sustaining. So we have our medical office with our veterinarian on staff. Our population for canines gets their health checks every month, okay? So we have a large population that we actually keep of canines that are trained or not trained. They might be pending training, or they might be pending a handler in the future. So
can I have them?
Well, I wish you could, but
can we take some home?
There's plenty of them, and they're actually trained. They're actually real good dogs. A lot of these dogs, they've been bred to work. So they're not your typical house dog that you can actually go to the Humane Society and stuff like that.
So like what, they can go get me a pop from the fridge or what?
They can, but you will have to train them to do that. So, that's the one good thing about this academy is that we can actually take care of them. If there's a process that we need a specialist to actually treat them for a surgery, we'll actually go out and look for that specialist and have them treat it. But for the most part, we actually have every canine here medically checked.
Okay, and you said once a month they get a check?
Yes, once a month for their maintenance check, and then go ahead and come in. So go ahead and step to the side. They're doing a surgery right now.
Oh my God, baby.
So we'll stay a little bit this way, that way we don't intervene with anything that they're doing. But this is the one process of the academy that we do, is maintaining our dog's health and anything that they need to make sure we have the best optimal health for them.
Wow.
So when people see our dogs, we actually take care of them really well. Anything that they need, dental, surgeries, rehabbing, we do it here.
Wow.
So that's the one thing.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So it's not you run of the mill, you just show up and the dogs are just waiting. No, we actually sustain and keep these dogs healthy until they're actually deployed to the field.
They're very much part of the Graydon family.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So that's the one thing about our program is that we love these dogs and we do everything we have to keep them in optimal health.
Wow. Sweet baby.
So this is the thing about the bloodline. So making sure that bloodline that we're getting is thorough as far as what we need. Once we go through pre-boarding, what we do is a selection test, which would actually have an actual site that we do. They do all these things that we need them to do for our work. If they pass that selection test, then they go through medical, and they have to pass medical in order for them to join our program.
And if they don't, you can just give them back?
So there's an actual process where the contracting with the vendor is, that's how it is. If they don't pass these selection, what we call performance, if they don't pass medical, that's part of the contract that they have to meet these requirements for us in order to purchase them. Because the process for us to work them in the field is demanding. I mean, we can't just take a run-of-the-mill dog and just say like, okay, you're going to walk in 100-degree weather and look for people. We need a specific dog.
Right.
We need a specific dog that can actually work at a checkpoint with high traffic volume, maybe assist the port of entry, maybe be on a ship. You never know, or in a boat. They might have to get on a helicopter to actually go through the mountains. So we can't just take anybody. We have to be specific in what we want. And that's the one thing about us purchasing with vendors. And vendors are real good with us. So we have a good process that, it's not like we're picky. We just need them to do a job.
And the vendors know what you're looking for.
Yes.
So they're showing up with those dogs that are in
that requirement,
that
yes.
makes sense.
I mean, that's the process. Dogs are already past everything. They're just waiting for their specific discipline.
So we
Okay.
have Malinois, we have Shepherds, we have hybrid mix. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Dutch Shepherds. A longer to burn.
That's beautiful. So they've all
Fable Shepherd, Dutch Shepherd.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the discipline is pretty aggressive, is pretty stern when it comes to these dogs. And it's hard because sometimes you see that visually as a civilian, and sometimes it's a little jarring, but it is the discipline that they're taught in that they interact with their handler to be able, like, it's like if you're, I guess it's like the discipline of a child if you spank them versus not. It's kind of a similar kind of thing where the handler has to kind of take control of the dog.
So that's the difference between canine training. So there is no aggressive discipline that we do.
Okay.
The one thing about building temperament with the dog and the handler and the instructor starts from day one. So bringing those dogs out, understanding what their behavior is, understanding how to tap into it, and understanding how to control it.
So like those videos where we've seen a handler like kicking the dog, that would not be something that is a behavior that they were taught to do that, to discipline their dog. It's something
So that's the one thing about once we start with day one is controlling the dogs, not by force, is by what we know and the field experience and the training that we receive. So yes, they do come out high drive, they do jump around, they do, but that's the one thing that we teach our instructors, even our instructors in the field, is how to tap into being able to control your patience is what it is, and be able to train the dog to understand you. So remember I was telling you about brain training to be able to understand the dog?
Mm-hmm.
So not just letting the dog run amok, like you're saying about the hyper kids, is yes, you have energy, but let's use it for the good. Let's use it for good behavior. Let's use it for when I can pay you for what you do for me. And that way you understand that, yes, you can be as rambunctious as you want to be, but we're going to do the job that we need to together.
You do more of a reward system based on when they do their behavior correctly versus a discipline response. Now, they also don't, from what I understand, when they go home with the handler at night, they're not in with the family necessarily. They're not part of the home unit. They're usually kenneled away.
Well, they're kenneled in the environment, so at their home.
Okay.
So we do provide, as far as when they go to the field, a hutch, a 10x10 run. So they are within the family compound.
Okay.
They do see the kids, they do see the wife or husband, and they understand like, okay, this is our pack. So day in, day out. So the one thing about walking through the kennels right now, they understand that when we show up, it's work time. So the same thing happens at home. You show up in uniform, it's work time. You show up in plain clothes, it's off duty time. Oh, who's that? Oh, that's your son. That's our pack. So that bond starts building, and that's actually one of the things that we do use for the field, because understanding your dog 24/7, yes, it's a lot of work, but it actually helps you be very productive.
Okay.
So that's the one thing with being within the Border Patrol, is always having the dog with you. So it's one of those things where, yeah, I see the dog more than I do my wife, my kids, but working in the field is so rewarding to understand that we're actually doing something to protect our nation's borders, either by finding concealed people or narcotics. It's one of those things that me and my partner did it from the training from day one to now. So that's the one thing that people that put in for being a handler want to do, is find that reward system within that bond with a canine, and it starts right there. So the way you saw them, we actually grab the agent that shows up as a student handler, we give them their first saver with their leash, go get your dog. So they actually have to understand how to actually leash up the dog and walk out with the dog, and we take them out, do the break.
Do they get to pick?
So that's not so much a pick system.
You don't walk up and go, oh, you picked me.
Imagine if we did that, everybody be picking the most handsome dog. So no, it's not like that. It's actually what the actual dog can be good for as far as in the patrolling environment. Is it a high volume checkpoint? Is it mostly brush ops? Is it some environment where the dog might do 50-50? So understanding where the dog needs to go. And then a lot of the times too is maybe we pick that, but maybe our student handler physically can't control this dog. So we might have to do an adjustment where like, well, let's give him this dog, and maybe this dog will work better with this handler.
Okay.
So it's one of those processes. If we let everybody pick, it'd be a rough situation.
Why was it important for you to be involved in canine handling and the detection of drugs and the detection of people that are trying to evade? Why was that important to you?
I think there's a real sense of service to country and service to our communities when you become involved in something that's bigger than yourself, right? So not just the Border Patrol, but as a canine handler, you're getting to utilize a different tool, a specialized tool that not very many people in the country get to use. And when these canines can find people in peril, hidden and concealed in compartments, their lives are in danger in the bed of the trailer, you know, an 18-wheeler, and there's no way out. There's no airflow. We've seen and heard all the news reports of the just the crazy dangers that the smugglers are putting people into. Smugglers don't care. They're all about what comes back to their wallets, not how well they're treating the people that they're smuggling.
Yeah, and one of the things that really hits their wallets is moving drugs too. And we know that you guys just added the fentanyl detection piece to the narcotics element for these dogs. Tell me what it means to you to be able to have dogs trained up to be able to find what is arguably the deadliest drug on the planet.
So I think the biggest key to us here as the United States Border Patrol Canine Academy, our requirement is to provide the capability to the Border Patrol. So the Border Patrol has requested that we add that odor to our canines. As you know, it's a fentanyl crisis. President Trump has declared a national emergency on this, you know, back even in January, and for the opioid crisis and these synthetic drugs. Our part of adding that to our repertoire of odors on our canines is critical. Our dogs are finding all of these things that are dangerous to the communities. This is it's the best way to say this. This is the way we can give back as a whole. As the canine community for the United States Border Patrol, been the best of the best for 30-something years, and now we're even adding on to that. And now we've got a different tool to add to that arsenal of combating, finding, detecting, locating, and keeping these drugs, these synthetic opioids, fentanyl, hydrochloride specifically, from reaching the communities in the interior of the United States. And hopefully we can help slow down the number of opioid deaths.
Now, when it gets to you guys, how did it make it to you? Because obviously your checkpoints were inland a little bit.
Correct.
How did it make it to you in the first place?
So Border Patrol specifically, we're responsible for keeping bad people and bad things out of the country that enter the country between the ports of entry. Office of Field Operations handles everything that comes in at the ports of entry. So between those ports of entry, anything that comes across the border there, that's on us. That responsibility is on our shoulders. And the men and women of the United States Border Patrol have done a fantastic job since 1924 dealing with those specific threats. And so if that's smuggled across the border between the ports of entry up to a stash house, and then gets repackaged, repurposed, and put in a vehicle headed down our ingress routes into the United States beyond the ports of entry, that's where our immigration checkpoints come into play. And our canines that are going to be trained to detect fentanyl that's going on now, those canines will have a major impact in that movement.
Okay, so we just showed you an inside look at the Canine Academy here in El Paso with Border Patrol, who are showing us specifically how these dogs interdict hard narcotics, specifically fentanyl. That was just added to their list of narcotics that they're looking at. We saw how they are able to detect when a person is being smuggled as well. They're another line of defense for Border Patrol and a force multiplier as well for them, so that agents are able to be out there doing their job, and with help from these canines are able to keep America safe.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.